in the meeting. So welcome to our September Cynosure HQuick Patient Family Partnership Hub meeting. This is our Patient Family Partnership Hub vision. The Cynosure HQuick Patient Family Partnership Hub is a peer learning community for patient family partners collaborating with the 11 states that make up the Cynosure HQuick. Patient family partners will use their lived experiences to co-create improved care for all people in partnership with the Cynosure HQuick hospitals. These are our agreements for this meeting. It's practice active and empathetic listening and sharing. Challenge the idea, not the person. Be both teachers and learners. Take space and make space. The stories stay, but the lessons leave. Use I statements. One person speaks at a time, and be here now. This is our agenda today. Welcome, doing the some partnership hub connections. We'll go through PFEE assessment results. This is September is Sepsis Awareness Month. So we will focus on sepsis this meeting. We have some resources to share and some updates to give you all. And yeah, so that's the meeting today. So this is our welcome check-in question. If you could learn one new skill, what would it be? And it doesn't have to be necessarily a useful skill, just any skill. Let us know your name, where you're calling in from, and your skill. I can go first. I'm Laura Jackson, the Director of Communities at PFCC Partners. I live up in Eugene, Oregon, and if I could learn one new skill, it would be playing the piano. I want to make some music, would be nice. All right, so we'll start at the top of my list. I have Barbara.
Hi, everybody. I'm Barbara Kivowitz. I'm based in San Francisco, and I'm a patient family advisor with Sutter Health. I've always loved to have learned how to do skydiving.
Oh, that would be really cool. Thank you, Barbara. Let's see, Glenn.
Hi, everybody. I'm Glenn. I'm in Los Angeles. One skill I'd like to learn is Spanish. I've been trying to learn Spanish for years unsuccessfully. I even had a tutor at one time. Just can't do it.
It's hard learning a new language, especially as an adult. Thanks for joining, Glenn. Nadine.
Hi, everyone. I'm Nadine Alexi. I'm from Chicago, and I'm with Ascension's National Patient Advisory Council. I have two. I'll just cheat here and say I'd love to learn how to play the sax. And I too, Glenn, I'm sorry, would love to learn Spanish just for this type of work. I think it would come in so handy in particular.
Most definitely. Thank you. Thanks, Nadine. Libby Earhart.
Hello, I'm Libby. The skill I would like to learn. I didn't even think about it, but learn how to run faster. I don't know. I like to run. I like to walk. I like to run and walk. And so I don't know, maybe learning how to run faster, I guess. I don't know.
That's a good one. Yeah, I'm not a runner either, so I get that. Thanks. Thank you for coming. Beverly Rogers.
Good afternoon. I'm Beverly Rogers. I'm in Indianapolis. I'm a Chicago transplant, and I always say that because I miss Chicago so many days. I learned Spanish and it's gone away. I used to speak it fluently. It's gone away. I play piano music, organ and cello, and I don't do it anymore, and it's gone away. So there's not the skills I'd like to learn, but I would love to go back and redo some of the things that I did when I was younger and just grow old gracefully doing those things.
I love that, Bev. Thank you. Jennifer.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Wagner. I'm with the Montana Hospital Association here in Helena, Montana, and the Montana HQuick. The one new skill I would like to learn, I have a bucket list of two, and one is to learn how to drive a manual transmission, which is shocking. I've never driven one. Well, I've tried, not pretty, in Montana, and I've never learned to swim. So that's on my bucket list for this year.
I love that. Oh, that's an active new skill.
Before you go on to somebody else, that's all I drive are manual transmissions. My family
Really?
thinks I'm nuts.
I've tried it once or twice and it didn't go well for me either, Jennifer. So thank you. Linda.
Hey everyone, I'm Linda Starnes. I'm in Orlando, Florida, and I'm with our Title V office, our state Title V office. And so I'm kind of like was mentioned before, my son's first language was ASL, but as he got older and technology improved, he has moved away from ASL as his primary form of communication. And so we've all lost that skill set, and I would love to get it back again. If you don't use it, you lose it. So
That's right. Thank you. Thanks, Linda. Maureen.
Hi, everybody. My name is Maureen Dispo. I'm in Pflugerville, Texas today with I have the Joint Commission here, so I might be on a little bit of a short string. So I'd like to learn how to do the Joint Commission in one easy step, but that isn't happening. So I have two in my bucket list for right now. One is I do play the piano, but I'm learning to play the ukulele, which I'm finding a little difficult because I broke my wrist about a year ago, and I'm struggling a little bit with hand position, but I'm trying. And the other is learning sign language. So that's my two. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks. Thanks for joining us today. Suzanne, I saw you put in the chat, but you're welcome to come off mute and introduce yourself if you'd like.
Hi, this is Suzanne Van Cal. I'm in Missoula, Montana. I work with Family to Family Health Information Center here, and we're connected. I'm actually from home today, but we have offices at the University of Montana. I live with chronic pain, and I used to be able to do 1,000 more things a day. And if I could regain a skill, it would be to function at the same level without pain, because it's just an ever-present thing in my life. So
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for sharing. Thanks for coming today. Let me see. Libby Hoy.
Hey, everybody. I am eager to learn Spanish because my grandson Marco was born on Friday and he will be bilingual, and I don't want to miss a word.
He is very cute.
We'll be learning Spanish together, he and I.
There you go. Some bonding time learning Spanish. Lindsay?
Hey everyone, I'm Lindsay Galley. I'm located in hot Sacramento, California. And it sounds like we need to start a Spanish club because I would also like to learn Spanish as well. I tried earlier this year using Babbel, but again, if you don't use it, you lose it. So I slowly tapered off and haven't gotten back to it. So I would love to do that.
We should all get Babbel and then check in with each other.
And only speak in Spanish.
Yes. Yes. Oh, Suzanne has a music degree. We can start a music club too. She can teach those of us who want to play. We have a piano in our house, fun fact, but I don't know how to play it. Let's see, just checking the list, see if I got everybody. Oh, Shawnee.
And
Oh,
Shonali,
you're muted.
you're muted. Yep. Shonali, you are muted. We can't hear you.
There
Here I
you
am talking and talking. I'm so sorry.
Okay.
Shauna Lee from Fruita, Colorado. And it's been hot here, and I wish it wasn't quite so hot, but it's all good. There's so many skills I would like to learn. Just everything you said, everybody probably. You'd think I lived in Las Cruces for over 15 years, Las Cruces, New Mexico, and everybody spoke Spanish except for me. And I can say Tienes dolor en su pecho, or, something like that. But I would love to do that. And I'd like to learn how to fly and scuba dive, I guess. I just want to have more adventures in my life.
I love that. Yes. Scuba diving is recently on my list too. So thank you. Thanks for joining us. And we just had Kathy Salazar join us, but I'm going to let her get all set up here. There you are. Hi, Kathy. We're just finishing up our check-in question. So you came just in time.
Apologies. I
Oh, no.
just got out of another meeting, so apologies.
No problem. You got here just in time to answer. If you could learn one new skill, what would that be?
I think to snorkel. That would be fun, like in Hawaii.
Oh yeah. Hawaii's got some great snorkeling. Well, thank you. Thanks for joining us today. We will go ahead and get started. And I will pass it to Libby first.
Awesome. So we just wanted to share a little bit of background as well on one of the focus for the HQuick hospitals recently was the patient family engagement for equity assessment. And the items that you see on the screen are the items that the hospitals are responding to. The development of an admissions checklist, bedside rounding. These 12 items come from CMS, and CMS wants to know, particularly around those first 5 or the patient family engagement metrics. And then the second to 7 are the items from the health organizational equity assessment. So these are items that are sort of, well, we don't have the ability to change them, shift them, alter them, or add or delete them. So in order to give the hospitals flexibility to meet the goals, they can respond to say whether they're forming a bedside rounding program, whether they're storming that, whether it's become normed in their hospital, or whether they're really outperforming in that given area. So we call that a maturity model, and that gives our hospitals a little bit of a pathway forward in each of these areas that you can tell by reading the items that each of them significantly contribute to the amount of engagement patients and family caregivers are provided the opportunity, as well as moving us closer to equitable outcomes. So just wanted to share this kind of quickly with the community. I know some of you have seen this on the Patient Family Partnership Council meeting, but on the next slide, it's just a little bit of a quick review. We had, I should also mention that the hospitals in the Cynosure HQuick will complete this assessment every 6 months. So the first round was in January, the second round was in July. And so this is a comparison of the same 119 hospitals. We had a little over 200 complete the first round and just under 200 complete the second round, but there were 119 that did this same. So this is sort of a bit of a comparison, if you will, on that. So for instance, if you look at the development of a PFA program or a Patient Family Advisory Council, by looking at the number of hospitals in the first round that were in the forming stage being 66, it's dropped to 63, but you can see that the storming and norming, confusing myself, have both increased. So that means that the hospitals are progressing on that particular metric. So I just wanted again to share with the community that the hospitals are working on their patient family engagement strategies. And really the first part of the project has really focused on integrating patient family engagement into the quality improvement work that the HQuick hospitals are committed to by participating in the program. And so knowing that the progression of these particular measurements will kind of focus moving forward our technical assistance in really helping them to move on these patient family engagement for equity metrics. I hope that makes sense. So I see Nadine has a question. Nadine?
Yes, just a quick question, Libby. And congrats, of course. Was Cynosure just tasked with this, or is this a nationwide CMS initiative?
What specifically are you asking?
These measurements, these 12 measurements for PFEE.
The first 5 are for the HQuick program. So all 9 HQuick contractors are moving those forward. I don't know if others have connected. We think it's critically important to keep patient family engagement tightly connected with our equity efforts. And so that's why we added. I am not, I don't know if the other HQuicks have done that.
Great, thanks.
Mm-hmm. Linda?
Hey, I want to make sure I'm understanding this correctly. So it is a direct relationship, the same 119 that you're showing in January, or the same 119 in comparison below. So I'm just curious because I'm seeing where, for instance, bedside rounding, 46 reported as at performing level, which is that where that we would hope that they would be and work to stay. But then in July, only 41 were at performing. Does that mean they are, for lack of a better word, backsliding a bit back into the other? And do we know why that might occur?
So with the great pickup, and yes, it indicates definitely sliding back. As we do some of the technical assistance and the PFE think tanks and are talking with the hospitals, trying to kind of figure out a couple of the things that we've heard is obviously bedside rounding went backwards during the pandemic and the restricted visitor, family presence. So that attributes for some of it. Others actually attribute because they have a better understanding because of the maturity model. They have a better understanding of what a really good program is. And so where they may have said, yes, we do that, with the maturity model, we're able to say, okay, how are you educating your patients about that? We give them the activities that really build a very strong program. So they may not be quite as confident. And then finally, there's been so much staff turnover across all hospitals that it could be a function of a different person completing the survey. But those are some of the things that we've heard as we've been talking to the hospitals.
Thank you. I just want to make sure I was understanding that correctly. And so that's a good explanation, will help in moving forward and looking at that. And then I just am dying to know, what are you going to be called? Are you going to be a grandma, a bama?
I'm going to be Nana. I'm going to be the Irish term, Nana.
Nana. Okay, great.
Kathy?
So, just a question regarding healthcare transition and how it fits in here. Linda and I are on another national committee about healthcare transition for kids with special healthcare needs or medical complexity. And some of the things that we're hearing and learning is that it's pretty horrendous nationwide. It's very difficult to have a smooth transition for kids who have a medical complexity. Where in all of this, or is it just understood that transition, healthcare transition should be part of all of this planning and all of these, you know, how you're measuring how you're doing with patient and family centered care. Is it just an automatic understanding that that should be part of it? Or is it something that's not even being talked about in the hospitals?
And just so I have a good understanding, are you talking about transitions from pediatric to adult or transitions?
Yes. No, pediatrics to adult in all areas, you know, all specialties and in primary care.
Got it. So these, again, we're working within the Hospital Quality Improvement Collaborative, which is funded by the Medicare program. So it's very much focused on the Medicare population. So that specific transition is not a focal point of this particular program. However, transitions of care in a larger sense are very much a part of this program and something that all of our state hospital associations are working with their hospitals to create smoother transitions, whether that be from hospital to home, hospital to skilled nursing, or vice versa. So transitions of care is really deeply embedded in the discharge planning metric. But then again, there's a very deep focus on care transitions themselves, but not specific to pediatric to adult. I know that's a huge area of need. It's a bit outside the scope of this particular quality improvement program.
Okay, it would certainly be nice to know what that's looking like, because you're right. Staff overturning during COVID and stuff has really affected who we have and who we can send our kids to as they're transitioning out between ages, 18 and 21. Most of them transition out. So it would just be nice to know that they're thinking seriously about what that looks like in all its forms as they're doing this. Because in New Mexico, if you have a kiddo with a medical complexity enough, to be nursing facility level of care or developmental intellectual disability or be at risk for, you have the chance of being on a Medicaid waiver. So Medicaid does play into most of these kids' lives and their families' lives. So just a thought.
Absolutely. No, I appreciate that. And I can take that back and ask specifically with our New Mexico Hospital Association partners, just to kind of explore where that fits in. It's a great question, Kathy. Thank you.
Yeah, and in New Mexico, our two leading hospitals, they don't get along and they don't share resources, and I mean share doctors, and so it makes it very, very difficult that adds to the difficulty of transition. So
I would imagine.
Yeah.
Laura, do we have more time for this discussion, or?
Yeah, I think we have a couple more minutes.
Okay, so I see Linda's question. Yeah, Linda, you're right. I mean, in essence, all of the metrics relate to pediatrics, to all care, whether you're in a Medicare program or otherwise. Excuse me. I'm just not certain that these 5 metrics I know were created through earlier iterations of the HQuick program. I don't know how widespread they're used in other programs. Certainly the transitions of care is an important aspect, and maybe we want to think about our maternal child health partners and others to see what they're doing, how they're measuring those transitions and where they are. Thanks. Any other questions or? All right. Just again, a little bit of background on, sort of staying connected to the HQuick hospitals and the work that they're all doing.
Thank you. Think still with you for Ready, Set, Go.
Well, there we go. Okay. So many of you have contributed to the iterations of Ready, Set, Go, and so I wanted to follow up with an update. We can send you the toolkit. Our wonderful partners at Cynosure took the it created a graphically pleasing document for hospitals to use as they're addressing really those first three metrics, right? The admissions, bedside rounding, and discharge. So this is ready to go, ready to be implemented across the Cynosure HQuick. And we did a little bit of a brainstorm for some of you. I think were on with us with the State Hospital Association partners to think about how we could release the tool and what messages might be helpful. So where we have landed is that we will simultaneously distribute and also test with the hospitals, but have decided not to hold it from other hospitals who may not want to necessarily test at this time, recognizing that it will be an iterative tool. As we test and learn more, we'll improve it and kind of update and resend. So that is our current plan. And if any of you have brilliant ideas about messaging or encouraging our hospitals to use the tool, I'd love to hear that.
Hey, Libby, I have a question. Are those, whenever you reach out to the hospitals, are they, like those outreaches, are those like directly geared to those specific hospitals in those regions, or are they, is it like a general outreach?
I'm not sure I'm understanding, but let me try to answer. And if I don't get it, tell me. So this tool will go to the Cynosure HQuick hospitals. So for instance, in Louisiana, I think we have in the neighborhood of 25-ish. Lindsay, I don't know if you have that number off the top of your head. Those hospitals. So it would go to those hospitals. That's our focus. And those are the hospitals that we have the opportunity to support as they implement it.
So what about, I guess, so like if you're sending that outreach to those hospitals, is it going like via like an email newsletter, or how is that going to them?
Gotcha. So Cynosure has a whole communications strategy that includes a bulletin. It includes a hospital listserv, which is quite active. And then we have the PFE think tanks monthly where we can share it there. Lindsay, Laura, am I forgetting some other avenues?
Is there an opportunity to do like a patient testimonial in those?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because I think that would be, I know South Louisiana, you know, if you can tug on some heartstrings, people kind of listen. And I would be willing, especially for Louisiana hospitals, to, you know, send a picture and send, you know, a picture of me and my daughter and rare disease and, you know, the battle that we fight and the importance. So that was just kind of my question. I was just trying to kind of get to the.
Yeah, that's a great offer. And those are the kinds of things we can think out of the box and do anything that will support the hospitals to try to implement. So
yeah, I'm all on board, especially for Louisiana. If that's what, you know, if you guys think of that.
Fantastic.
And Libby, I have a question. Will this be going directly to those hospital PFACs and distributed to those that sit on their PFACs so that they are aware this is a new tool and that they can through their auspices be recommending that the hospital utilize it?
Yeah, you know, we have very we don't have a lot of great contact information for speaking to the PFACs directly themselves. In fact, this is what this hub is about, is we were trying to get a community built around PFACs that are currently, you know, reflected in that data that we saw a little bit earlier. So that is a continuing kind of ambition that we have, I would call it. If you remember, the way that this project is set up is that we, the Cynosure team works alongside the improvement advisors, the Cynosure improvement advisors work alongside the state hospital associations to provide direct technical assistance along with ours. So it's kind of a mix match. So our best, I think that we're going to do a comprehensive. So anywhere we do have PFAC contacts, we'll definitely be sharing that. I mean, that's why we're sharing it here as well, so that those of you who are, in the Cynosure HQuick hospitals can share it there, but it would require partnership, right? Because we can't change hospital processes without that partnership in place. So I know that wasn't exactly the direct, yes, I'm going to get it to every PFAC that's in the Cynosure HQuick. I would love that. I would love that.
Hoping that could be the answer.
I know, me too. And if you were, have any great, brilliant ideas on how we can get that within the current structure, I am all ears, Linda.
And, we have a pretty good sense of where the advisory councils are based on the hospital self-assessment that Libby just shared. So those who are in the norming and performing, so there might be ways to identify that and potentially utilize that as a spreader.
Yeah, and to Nadine's point, yes, we definitely recognize that PFACs are a large ally in doing this work. And so we'll continue those efforts to get connected for sure.
Well, so then you're looking at ways to encourage hospitals and having not seen whatever promo or cover letter or whatever is going to go out with this initial push, would there be a way to hypothesize to hospitals here using this tool will improve your services, will improve patient satisfaction? Is there a way to go ahead and hypothesize that is going to be the case if they will embrace and utilize this?
Absolutely, Linda. And the promotional messages are that, and it's really specifically tied to readmissions. That's the reason we could develop the tool, and readmissions is a huge priority for most of the HQuick hospitals. So I would say nearly all. So simultaneously, it's a great question that gives me a chance to kind of give you the broader picture. Simultaneous to us creating this Ready, Set, Go tool, Kim Workmeister, who is one of the Cynosure improvement advisors, was running a readmissions, what did she call it? It wasn't a sprint. It was basically a class through the month of August on readmissions. So Ready, Set, Go, Grow, of course, was integrated straight into her technical assistance for hospitals working on readmissions. So that's the kind of integration that we have in Cynosure. So yes, absolutely, that's a perfect promotional message. Along with, this is a really great place to tap into your patient family advisory councils. All of our IAs, I don't know why I stumble at that because I talk too fast maybe. All of our improvement advisors are promoting that conversations with patient and family caregivers throughout their quality improvement work. So we have really good partnership in that. All right.
I did like Suzanne. I don't know if you saw Suzanne's comment. She said she can envision a box scent that has pom-poms inside so that a leader would come and cheer the staff on. Ready, set, go.
I love that. I love that. I'm taking it back to Sam, our graphic design girl. See if she can figure that out. I bet she can. Like that.
I think you could probably just get them from Oriental Trading or something for fairly cheap, or your local dollar store. Maybe what you could do is do a contest to see what hospital does the best rollout promotion, and that way people are motivated to create some buzz about it.
That's true. Those are great suggestions. And actually, Cynosure just did a discovery tool competition. The hospitals bid how many they could get done, or the state hospital associations did, I guess. And anyway, it was quite successful. Great ideas. I love the creativity, you guys. Thank you.
All right, well, thank you. I think next is me, so you're. Since September is Sepsis Awareness Month, we wanted to share with you all some resources that we have, and I'm actually going to pull up the PFA Network Forum, which I did want to share with you that we have a forum space for this group here. It is hospital quality and safety. And you are more than welcome to create new topics like these by just clicking on that hospital quality and safety and then clicking new topic. And you can share what you're working on. You can share resources like we did here. You can start a conversation, start a discussion, and talk to each other between meetings. I did share just one resource currently from the Sepsis Alliance. They have, it's kind of a bunch of resources in one. It's their resources page, and they have information guides, education videos, and all kinds of resources for you on their website there. If you have any more that you would like to add, you can write a reply here and add any resources. You can also add, attachments. You can attach files for PDFs or anything like that. But this month we are sharing our sepsis resources. So feel free to head there to add your own. I did get it there. All right. Any questions on the forums? Nope. All righty. Oh, CS, Barbara.
Question, yeah, Laura. So the 4-session sepsis sprint was recently completed. And I know for some groups it was a very significant and motivating experience. And I'm wondering if there's anything that has been documented from those sprints, anything that can be captured to share with other members, either the teaching materials or the ways in which the various hospitals use them, how they're doing with them. Seems like there was just a lot of knowledge that came from those 4 sprints, and I'm wondering if it was captured and how to share it.
That's a great, I'm going to jump in, Laura.
Yep,
that's a great question, Barbara. And you're right, there's so much content. The question I have is, the participants on the sprints were hospital staff implementing these improvement programs, and the audience on the PFA network are patient family partners. So I'm just thinking about how we make the tools that create change in the hospital systems relevant to the patient family partners, or is it helpful to think about, and we have a few contributions from Indiana Hospital Association that were shared in the sprints as well, that are more geared towards raising awareness, because that is something that we're really, wanting to focus on in September. What are your thoughts on that?
I actually think both would be of interest to patient family partners. You never know, when you drop an apple seed, you never know where it's going to land and what's going to grow. So I say drop the seeds. And I think it's also invigorating for patient family partners to know that hospitals are taking our input, and PFC's partner input and moving, making things happen with it. That's very motivating.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. I'm curious how we take the raw materials in the sprint and drop them in. Or maybe it's more thinking about how do we kind of summarize what's occurring and how the hospitals are using those tools than just dropping the tools in. I'm just worried about like seeing that. I feel like that would be really hard to understand the context.
Well, I would leave that in your hands, Libby, to to sculpt it in the best way possible.
Gotcha.
Yeah. But I just think there's so much knowledge there that.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Yep, definitely something to think about for sure. Thank you, Barbara. Any other comments or questions about the forums or anything so far? All right. So we do have the sepsis process improvement discovery and tracking tool. The HQuick hospitals use this tool and they drive sepsis rates down, and I can actually pull up the whole thing here. We just wanted to share this with you all. There we go. Just so you know what the HQuick hospitals are doing to reduce sepsis in the hospital. So they review a minimum of 5 and maximum of 10 medical records of patients that are in their facilities. It's loading kind of funky. There we go. So they have these categories here. So things like patient was screened for sepsis within 30 minutes of arrival to the emergency department, broad spectrum antibiotics initiated within 60 minutes of positive sepsis screen. And if a patient has a MAP of less than 65, that was a bad example of one, administered, then they would check off for each medical record that has these things here. And there's multiple pages of it. And like Libby said, I think they had a competition to see how many they could fill out in each facility. So do the colors mean something? Blue versus orange. Glenn, that is
it actually says on the tool there, if you go up, Laura, under the 3 hour, no, too far.
Too far. Oh, here we go.
Yeah. Under the 3 hour bundle compliance, that the orange colored cells indicate hour 1 bundles. So there's the hour 1 bundle, 3 hour bundle, and 6 hour bundle, and how so this just helps them to identify how they're complying with those bundle measures.
Thank you. So this is, and then the patient information from those those medical records. So we just wanted to share this information with you all and just let you know what the hospitals are doing. Any more questions on this? I'm going to go up to the top here.
I don't know if you'd ever have this measurement tool, but could it be something as simplistic as canvassing patients upon discharge or at some point during roundings at some point? Do you recall being spoken to about the sepsis? You know, it's so much more prevalent now. You hear it on medical TV shows. It's so much, I'm so much more aware of it. Well, I would be anyway, because we're in these type of groups, but even if that aside, if you can make the patient aware whether they're at risk for it or not, so it's front of mind, it could be such a simple thing. You don't want to scare patients, but can clinicians do anything real simple to drive home the point?
So that's a great point, and it's certainly something that I think this community can be very active in continuing to raise awareness within the patient population, as well as promote those types of tools where we can check in with patients. So I just want to be specific that this discovery tool is really for the hospitals to understand who's getting sepsis in your hospital. Maybe it's all in one area and they really need to focus those efforts over there. So it's again, a discovery tool in that discovering you have X number of cases of sepsis. Where are they coming from? What are they looking like? Did they get these interventions in the 3 and 6 hour bundles so that, you know, we have the most high quality outcomes as possible. But you're on it, Nadine, and we're getting to that as well, because we certainly want to see hospitals implementing, you know, those kind of check-ins and listening. We also heard from our sepsis partners that even just talking about it and sharing a diagnosis of sepsis with the patient and the family caregivers is critical. And we saw that was not happening. So those are these are the conversations we need to keep having and promoting that connection, definitely.
Let me agree with Nadine. Libby, this is Bev Rogers.
Mm-hmm.
Because you know how they have on the wall, these are symptoms of sepsis for the patient and the family member to see. It may just be a graphic or a note, because I can tell you as a senior, we have so many other chronic conditions that if it's sepsis, we may take it as the wrong blood pressure medication. It could be a urinary tract infection. You know, we will take it. Girl, when you're over 65, it could be anything. So we have no idea what sepsis is. And I think, you know, not to create a whole big thing for patients, but just something on a wall in the hospital room, in a bulletin, whatever, that says, beware of sepsis, or something cute, but short and simple. And I think that would help the staff.
Agreed. So we will continue to post and share a lot of those materials, but if you see something, Beverly, on sepsis that makes a bunch of sense to you, please share it, put it on the forum, send it to the email distribution list so we can help promote that. Absolutely. Right, Barbara. I think informing family caregivers and then, you know, I keep saying, okay, it's awesome to involve, you know, and ask a family caregiver, are you seeing something that you're concerned about? But this is a bit of a soapbox, but I would say 90% of the harm stories that I've heard from patients and families have some element of, I tried to speak up, but nobody listened. And so when we're talking about, you've got to ask, you've got to also have a plan for acting on the information that you receive. So definitely both of those pieces. I agree.
All right. Yes, plain language, most definitely. All right. Well, thank you, everybody. We do gotta move on here. That over there. Let's see. And Lindsay.
Yeah, so I just wanted to share more of what we're hearing from the hospital's perspective. I think this is a great discussion, and definitely, you know, on board with sharing some of that patient-facing or family-facing materials. I think there's plenty of opportunity for us to share those in the hospital listserv as well, to say, you know, especially during this month, how can you create more awareness around sepsis for your patients and family caregivers? On the other end, there are challenges that the hospitals are facing when it comes to sepsis. And this past week, Cynosure HQuick has been hosting what they call sepsis storming sessions, which is really just an opportunity for the hospitals to come together for 30 minutes and share all of their challenges and just kind of put it all out there on the table. The questions that they have about sepsis, really where they're challenged, and, you know, what they need to kind of move forward. This was one of the resources that was shared during one of those sessions. So I just put it up there just as a way to not only for the patients and families, but also for the healthcare staff. And that was, I had participated in a few of the sepsis storming sessions just to kind of hear what those challenges were so we could share it back with you. One of the challenges that came up a lot were issues with traveling nurses and just generating awareness for staff around sepsis. And so a few ideas that came up around that issue in particular from other hospitals were to create broadcasts within the hospitals to generate sepsis awareness. One of the hospitals is using a kind of walkie-talkie program called Vocera to create more awareness around sepsis, especially this month. There was another, some hospitals use code sepsis to elevate the sense of urgency around sepsis when a patient is experiencing signs of being septic. But one of the challenges that, the hospital staff shared was when we talked to providers about this, they're like, do we really need one more code? So just again, sharing challenges. Let's see a few others. There was a lot of discussion about engaging patients to design educational materials for patients and family caregivers, which I also know kind of came from the sprints as well. Oh, and then another thought that came up because, one of the hospital staff wanted to really take a good look at provider compliance. So what providers are complying with those bundles that you saw on the discovery toolkit, and really, narrowing in on who are the providers that maybe need a little more education around why we need to meet these bundles and the importance of sepsis. So yeah, lots of challenges out there. Less than half of the hospitals that joined the storming sessions weren't too confident in their processes that they have right now, but these sessions were a great opportunity for those hospitals to come together to really learn from each other and get that peer support with the challenges that they're facing as well. So just wanted to share a little bit from the hospital perspective and what we're hearing.
Thank you, Lindsay. All right, so with the last few minutes, we have the Indiana, I have my notes over here, Hospital Association have shared some resources on their sepsis toolkit that they put together. So we thought patients and family caregiver partner in safety to reduce sepsis and save lives would be a great headline, and you can help out with that. You can use their toolkits. So they sent over these slides here, so I'm going to read the notes she sent over with it. In 2022, they focused on updating access to their education and getting back to the basics of sepsis care in their webinars and hospital outreach. So they continue to sponsor bi-monthly sepsis office hours with topics suggested by hospitals. Despite the focus throughout the year, September is a time for data to set goals and plan for methods to attain those goals. So they put together this toolkit, and she did share a website that I can share out as well. It's here. It's www.survivesepsis.com. So they have sepsis patient and family education. So they have these QR codes for patients and families to directly access education materials, including the toolkits, all these resources, and I'm a sepsis survivor. What now? What can I do to improve my recovery? Caregiver instructions for patient recovering from sepsis. So you can scan these QR codes with your phone for English or Spanish, and they are doing so they add those QR codes to table tents little table tents when they go out for these ones right here, actually. They go out for events and share this toolkit for the patient and families. Nadine.
Yeah, two quick things I want to say. The see it, stop it, survive it. Oh my God, is that powerful?
Right. Yes.
And if you could go back 2 slides, that 100 thing where it's BP under 100, temperature above 100. What was the third thing, please? 2 slides back.
This one.
Nope. There we go. Heart rate above. That is so simple for a guideline to ward off this. Debilitating wouldn't even be the word.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
Heart rate.
one of the things is the simplicity for patients and families.
Thank you.
Yeah, and this tool is actually more for, you know, nurses and the healthcare staff, but I think it can definitely help, you know, both sides of this caregiving team. Absolutely.
I didn't lose sight that it's for clinicians, but boy,
Yeah.
that's a good one.
No, that's a good point.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you. Oh. All right. And she did share one more resource that I will pull up right now. Give me one moment here. If I can find it. And it is for patients and families, and we'll also share it out in follow-up because it's a document. I think it's a Word document. Of course, my computer's being slow here. Here we go. Here we go. Resources to engage patients and families in all levels of sepsis management, prevention, diagnosis, and treatment. So it is a 4-page document of resources for patients and families. So there's, I believe, videos, what happens when your patients or you go home. There are increasing your sepsis vocabulary. And there's just, of course, so many things to go through now. But again, we'll send this out in follow-up. So you are more than welcome to take a look at it a little bit closer and use it. And then the last one here is, since September is Sepsis Awareness Month. I'm gonna bring this back up here. Oh, wrong one. There we go. September is Sepsis Awareness Month. They would like you to set your hospital goals. So this is the updated sepsis toolkit. Again, it is on survivesepsis.com. There's social media messages, photos, and things to share with your peers, with your hospitals, QR codes, and there is their local mayoral proclamation for September 13th to be World Sepsis Day. You can share I am a sepsis champion selfie on social media. And there is updated database state sepsis goals. So it's a bunch of really, really great resources to check out on this survivesepsis.com. And I'll add that. Nadine?
Yes, quickly, for any initiative, do you ever tap into world approaches?
What do you?
You know, like Europe, or they're pretty progressive, Germany.
That's a really good thought. I don't think we have.
Oh, I love reading the European medical journals. They're so progressive.
Yeah, that's a really good thought. I'm sure there's a lot of really good resources there. I like that. I might look into that to share. But again, in the forum, we'll add these to the forums. We'll add them. We'll send them out in email. So you are all more than welcome to check those out. And with the end of the meeting here, I know we're a few minutes over, but we do have our campaign to pass the mic to help amplify voices that need to be heard. So if you have an opportunity to share with someone who's not necessarily in your community or looks like you or sounds like you, feel free to pass the mic. If you don't know anyone that to pass the mic to, you can feel free to email me. We have the PFA network and we can find someone for you to pass the mic to. And these are the 3 ways to pass the mic. You can invite someone, you can request to your health system to include additional voices, or bring someone along with you. And our next meeting is October 13th, same time, 12:30 Pacific, 3:30 Eastern. Any questions, feel free to email me. My email is right there. And again, we'll send out a follow-up with all those resources and this recording. So you are more than welcome to go back and watch. And we'll see you all next month on October 13th. Thanks for joining.
Thank you.
So long. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Enjoy autumn.
Thank you.
Hopefully it comes soon.
Yes.